Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's class, we're picking up from where we stopped on our last video. So for today, we'll be working on the WAEC 2023 Mathematics Objective questions 6 to 10. So now this is how the question looked like from the past question. So now let's start from question number 6. So for question number 6, we have solve log x base 3 plus log x minus 8 base 3 all equal to 2. So for this question, we'll be introducing one of the laws of logarithm, which is the addition law. So it says that whenever we have an addition here, it leads us to multiplication. So considering the fact that the logarithm are in the same base, so we have base 3 here, we also have base 3 here. So we're going to pick one of the log base 3. Then combine the value x and x minus 8. We're going to combine them with a multiplication sign. So that way we'll have log 3, then x bracket x minus 8 equal to 2. So what happened there? The brackets are introduced here. This bracket is representing the multiplication sign. So now the addition here changed to multiplication. Now we're having x times x minus 8 all equal to 2. So another law of logarithm we're going to be taking note of is that this number here 2, I would love us to represent it in such a way that it will also have log 3. That it is going to be represented in logarithm and in base 3. So what this is we're going to bring in log 3 x into bracket x minus 8 equal to, so these two should be represented as a logarithm, which will be in base 3. So this is log 3 then power 2. So I can introduce this by saying in a situation whereby we'll have log 10 10. Remember this is in power 1. So if the 1 comes to the back, 1 log 10 10. So if we slash the 10s, 10 cancel base 10. We're going to have our answer as 1. So meaning that instead of writing 1, we can as well write log 10 10. So let's use another example. We'll have log 10 100, and 100 can be represented as 10 raised to the power 2, which is log 10 10 square. So when these 2 goes to the back, we'll have 2 log 10 10. So when I cancel 10, 10 cancel base 10, we're left with 2. So meaning that instead of writing 2, we can as well write log 10 100 or log 10 10 square. That means log 10 square in base 10. So what I'm trying to illustrate here is that 2 can be represented as a logarithm in base 3. So it's going to be log 3 3. 3 3 means 1. That's what I'm just trying to illustrate here. Log 3 3, that's log 3 base 3. Log 3 base 3 means 1. So it's more like saying 1 times 2. That means this power will have here. You know, log 3 3, I can represent it this way. 2 at the back, then log 3 3. So 3 cancel 3 is what? 1. Then 1 times 2 is the same thing as this 2 we have here. So we can change 2 to give us log 3 base 3 of 2. So now that we have the logarithm at the both sides, that's the equation. Log 3 is here, log 3 is also here. So we have log 3 here and we'll have log 3 here. So we can as well say logarithm base 3 cancel logarithm base 3. So log 3 cancel log 3. Log 3 cancel log 3. Now we are left with x in a bracket x minus 8 all equal to 3 raised to the power 2 is what? 9. So now this is going to lead us to a quadratic equation. Now let's expand the bracket at the left hand side. X times x is x squared. X times minus 8 is minus 8x equal to 9. So for quadratic equation, this 9 needs to cross the equation sign. So it becomes x squared minus 8x minus 9 all equal to 0. So now that we have a quadratic equation, we can decide which formula or which method we are to use. So I'll allow us to use the factorization method. So for factorization method, we have to pick the first value, multiply it with the third value, so which is going to be x squared times minus 9, which is minus 9x squared. So I'm going to look for two factors of minus 9x squared that when I add or subtract it, it is going to give me this middle minus 8x. So now let us look for factors of minus 9x squared. Let's try 1x times 9x. So 1x times 9x will give me 9x squared. But now let's consider the sign minus. So meaning one of the value is going to be a plus and the other is going to be a minus. So let this be the plus and let this be the minus. So plus 1x times minus 9x will give us minus 9x squared. Now when we add or subtract, let's say plus 1x minus 9x will give us minus 8x. So we can probably use this value because it satisfies what is in the middle. We can use this to replace or represent minus 8x. So now our value becomes x squared plus 1x, let's say plus x, minus 9x minus 9 equal to 0. Now I have to pair this in twos. If I pair them in twos, we'll be able to. Now, x squared plus x, what do we have in common here? We have x in common. So if I bring that out, I'll be left with x plus 1. Now, on the other side, we have 9 in common. So if I bring out 9, remember there's a minus sign here. There's a minus sign here. So now minus 9, which is in common, I'll be left with x plus 1. Let's have that in mind. We'll have minus 9 times x will give us this minus 9x here. Then minus 9 times plus 1 will give us minus 9. All equal to 0. So since we have x plus 1 and x plus 1 here, we're going to pick one of them because they are the same. So we're going to bring the one outside together, which is x minus 9 in a bracket, and then we'll have x plus 1, which is the one we are picking 1, all equal to 0. So the value of x is x minus 9 equal to 0, or x plus 1 equal to 0. So x is equal to, when minus 9 crosses equation sign, it will be 0 plus 9, and then on the other hand, x is equal to, when plus 1 crosses equation, it becomes 0 minus 1. So the value of x is equal to 9, or x is equal to minus 1. So x is equal to 9 or minus 1. So from the option, we have 9. So that meaning we are going to be working with the positive answer. So the positive answer here is 9. So from the option, the answer is D. So for question number 7, we have Mr. Manu is 4 times as old as his son, Adu. 7 years ago, the sum of their ages was 76 years. How old is Adu? So let's break this bit by bit. So let's start with Mr. Manu is 4 times as old as his son, Adu. So let's say Adu is X years old. So if Adu is X years old, Mr. Manu, the father, his age is going to be 4 times X because it says 4 times as old as his son. So if his son is X, Mr. Manu's age is going to be 4 times X. Now let's move to the next part. It says 7 years ago. 7 years ago. So 7 years ago is in the past. So 7 years ago, the sum of their age was 76 years old. The sum of their age is 76. So 7 years ago. So we are going to look for the age of Adu and Mr. Manu 7 years ago. So Adu's age 7 years ago should be, Adu is going to be X minus 7. Then Mr. Manu is going to be 4x minus 7. So for better understanding, the context there 7 years ago. The context 7 years ago, it's actually saying in the past. So if I say let's assume I am just 12 years, and I want to say what is my age 7 years ago, it's going to be 12 minus 7, which is 5. So if someone is 40 and we are actually working on 10 years ago, how old is the person? It's going to be 40 minus 10, which is 30. So now 7 years ago, Adu's age is going to be x minus 7. Since he is x years, so his age 7 years ago is going to be x minus 7. So Mr. Manu, who is 4x years old, it is going to be 4x minus 7. Now it says how old is Adu. So now take note, the sum of their age was 76 years. So after getting their age 7 years ago, after getting what their age is 7 years ago, now we have to add them together. It says the sum of their age. So I'm going to add x minus 7 plus 4x minus 7. So when I add them together, we equate it to 76 years. You say the sum of their age is what? 76 years. So now we're having x minus 7, which is for Adu, plus 4x minus 7, which is for Mr. Manu. It is equal to 76 years. So collecting like term, we'll have x plus 4x minus 7 equal to 76. So now we have x plus 4x is going to give us 5x. Minus 7 is minus 14 equal to 76. So if I have 5x equal to 76, so when minus 14 crosses equation sign, it gives us plus 14. Now we have 5x is equal to 76 plus 14 is 90. So when I divide both sides by 5, the value for x is equal to 90 divided by 5 is 18. So remember, Adu is what? X years old. So if Adu is equal to x years old, so therefore Adu is what? 18 years old. Is 18 years old because Adu is x, and now we've gotten the value for x, which is 18. So that is Adu is 18 years old. So from our question, the answer is what? C. 18 years. The answer is C. Now let's move to question number 8. So for question number 8, it says factorize completely. Factorize completely s squared minus y plus z squared. So for me to solve this kind of question, I will introduce difference of two squared. The purpose of using difference of two squared, let's recall this, that whenever we have a squared minus b squared, it will give us a plus b brackets a minus b. So this is a squared minus b squared. This is the meaning of difference of these two squared. So the difference of two squared is going to give us the same value but different signs. So it's going to be a plus b and then a minus b. So now let's put it in this place. We'll have s squared, which is a square, and then we'll have y plus z squared. So this is difference of these two square. The difference of these two square. Now let's start solving this. So now for me to do this kind of question, exactly the way we did the a square minus b square, which gave us a plus b and then a minus b. So now let me write this question so we can solve. X squared minus y plus z square. So recall this is the difference of two square. So the way we did the a square minus b square, which gave us a plus b and then a minus b, is exactly how we're going to do this. So it's going to be s square minus y plus z square. So now the x here is going to be the first value. So it's going to be x plus y plus z. So let's have it x plus y plus z. So I'll put it in a bracket. Now, the next one is going to be x minus this variable here, which is y plus z. So let's put this in a bracket, then a big bracket. Let me break this, expand this bracket. Let's expand this bracket. We're going to have, that's the bracket inside. So the bracket I'm expanding is this one inside. We're going to expand this bracket. So we'll see what our answer will be like from the option. So now this is equal to x. So we have plus times y is plus y, and then we'll have plus times plus z. Plus times plus z is the plus z. We'll close this bracket. Now move to the next bracket. We'll have x. So now minus times y is minus y. Then minus times plus z. Minus times plus is minus, and then we'll have our z. So we'll put it in another bracket. So from the option, our answer is B, because we have x plus y plus z, and then we'll have x plus y plus z, and then we'll have x minus y minus z, which is exactly what we'll have here. So the answer for this question is B. Now let's move to question number 9. So for question number 9, we have find the root of the quadratic equation 3m squared minus 2m minus 65 equal to 0. So if we're given this kind of question that we have to find the root, it means we should find the answer. That means whenever we solve a quadratic equation, we get two answers. So that answer we get is the root of this equation, is the root of this quadratic equation. So now I would love us to use the factorization method to solve this question. So now let's start. We have 3m squared minus 2m minus 65 equal to 0. So I'm going to bring these two together. I will multiply the first and the last digit together. So I'm going to multiply 3m squared times minus 65. So when I multiply these two, I got minus 195m squared. Minus 195m squared. So now I'm going to look for two factors of 195 minus 195m squared. I'm going to look for two factors that when I add or subtract, I'm going to get minus 2m, which is in the middle. So that the factors is going to replace minus 2m. So from our multiplication, minus 195m squared can be represented as 13m and 15m. So you can use your calculator to cross-check. 13 times 15 is 195. So m times m is m squared. So now we'll have our minus sign here. We'll have our minus sign. So we can decide where our minus is going to be. So if our minus is here and we'll have plus here, minus 13 plus 15 will give us a positive 2m plus 2m. But what we'll have is a negative 2m. So our plus should be here, minus should be here. So plus 13m minus 15m is going to give us minus 2m. So in that case, this value here can represent minus 2m. It can replace minus 2m. So we'll have 3m squared plus 13m minus 15m minus 65 equal to 0. So I'm going to group this in twos. I'm going to group this in twos. So judging from the first one, the only thing we'll have that is common here is m. M is common. So if I bring m outside, I'll be left with 3m plus 13. So on the other side, 5 is common. 5 is common in 15, 5 is common in 65. So we have minus 5 in a bracket. 15m divided by 5, we are left with 3m. Then we'll have, this becomes plus because minus times minus is plus. So plus times minus will give us minus back. So now plus 65 divided by 5 is 13. 65 divided by 5 is 13, all equals to 0. So you can see that 3m plus 13 is the same as 3m plus 13. So we're going to pick one and then bring these two together. M minus 5 will bring it together. So we'll have m minus 5 in a bracket. Then we'll have 3m plus 13 in a bracket, all equal to 0. So we're going to pick each factor, m minus 5 equal to 0 or 3m plus 13 equal to 0. So when we collect like term, m is going to be 0 plus 5. That's when minus 5 crosses equation sign. And on this part, 3m is going to be 0 minus 13. 3m is going to be 0 minus 13. So here we have 3m equal to minus 13. 0 minus 13 is minus 13. Divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by 3. So our m here is equal to minus 13 over 3. Then on this part, m is equal to 0 plus 5 is what? 5. So our answer is 5 and minus 13 over 3. Minus 13 over 3. So judging from the option, our answer is C, because minus 13 over 3 and then 5. So our answer is C. Now let's move to question number 10, which is the last question for today. For question number 10, we have m varies jointly. This is a variation question. M varies jointly as the square of n and the square root of q. Let me represent this mathematically first. Let's put it in a mathematical expression. So m varies jointly as the square of n, which is n square, and the square root of q, which is the square root of q. So this is a mathematical expression of this variation. So I'm going to introduce our constant, which is going to be m equal to kn square square root of q. Kn square square root of q. Now we are going to look for constant. So we'll be able to get the relationship joining this variation together. So the next thing there says, if m is equal to 24, if m is equal to 24 and n is equal to 2 and q is equal to 4, we should find m when n is equal to 5 and q is equal to 9. So let's do this one first. If m is equal to 24, n is equal to 2 and q is equal to 4. So I'm going to substitute the value in this equation. So if I substitute in this equation, we'll be able to get the constant k. So m is 24 equal to, we are looking for the constant k, n square, which is 2 square, times the square root of q. Q there is what? 4. So the square root of 4. Now we'll have 24 equal to 2 square is 4 times square root of 4 is 2, and then we'll have our constant k. So this is 24 equal to 4 times 2 is 8 times k, which is 8k. Now divide both sides by 8, so we'll be able to get the constant k. If I divide through by 8, the value for k is equal to 3. The value for k is equal to 3. So now I'm going to bring out a relationship here. So the relationship joining these letters together is m equal to 3n square root q. So the 3 here is representing the constant k. This 3 here is representing, so this 3 here, this 3 is representing the constant k, is representing this constant k. So it becomes m equal to kn square root 3. So m equals to, this k is 3 n square root q. Now let's move to the next thing. It says find m. So we're looking for m, we're looking for this m when n is equal to 5 and q is equal to 9. So now that we've been able to get the relationship joining the letters, that's introducing the constant, we can now look for m when n is 5 and q is 9. Now let's do that. So we're looking for m equal to 3 times n square is what? 5. So 5 square times the square root of q, which is the square root of 9. Q is 9. So we'll have m equal to 3 times 5 square is 25 times the square root of 9 is 3. So when I multiply all this together, 3 times 25, 3 times 25 is 75, then times 3. So m is equal to 75 times 3 is 225. 75 times 3 is 225. So from the option, our answer is D, 225. This is the last question for today, and in our next video, we'll be working on question number 11 to 15. If you're joining us for the first time, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to your friends and lovers. Thank you very much for joining me in today's class. See you in my next class. Bye!